applying it to real life. Let's bring this down to earth. We'll explore how the science of letting go can be applied in different common life situations: romantic heartbreak, grudges or resentment, shame or self-blame, perfectionism or control issues, and letting go of old goals or identities. For each, we'll highlight any special considerations and suggest a few micro practices, small exercises or techniques that you can try. These are like little letting go workouts tailored to that specific issue, which over time build your release muscles. 1. Romantic heartbreak. Few things are as universally painful as heartbreak. Whether it's a breakup or unrequited love, it can feel like withdrawal from a drug. In fact, brain scans of heartbroken individuals show activation in the same reward pathways as cocaine addiction and physical pain regions. The brain responds to a breakup much like a craving and a wound. So first off, know that your intense feelings are biologically normal. You're not weak for longing or hurting. Your brain is literally missing its dopamine hits and trying to make sense of a loss of attachment. Special considerations. Heartbreak often involves a mix of grief, love, anger, jealousy, and low self-worth. There's also often a fight between heart and mind. Your logical mind might say it's for the best, but your emotional brain still pines. Evolutionarily, attachment bonds are meant to keep us together. Breaking them triggers primal panic. Ever see how a baby reacts when separated from a parent? That's an attachment alarm. And in adults, it still reverberates. Understanding this helps. You're not crazy. You're attached, and detaching takes time. Also, identity can be heavily wrapped in relationships. We instead of I. After a breakup, you're redefining who you are solo, which is scary, but also an opportunity. Micro practices for heartbreak. The no contact experiment. This is a common advice for a reason. It's basically an exposure and habit breaking technique. Commit to a period, say 30 days, of no contact with your ex. No seeing, texting, stalking online, etc. This is like giving your brain time to detox. Initially, you'll have strong cravings, like a withdrawal symptom, but by day 30, many people report significant clarity and lessened pangs. Use that time to focus on you. Journal how each week goes. Note the cravings at first and how they change. This also prevents the intermittent reinforcement that seeing or messaging them provides, which just keeps resetting the attachment. One study noted that participants who constantly thought about or tried to contact their rejecter stayed stuck in the cycle longer. So, a period of strict no contact is like ripping off the band-aid so real healing can begin. A daily self-compassion break, 5 minutes. Heartbreak often brings self-criticism, like, was I not good enough? Counter this by practicing a short self-compassion meditation. For example, sit quietly and say to yourself, this is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of being human. May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I give myself the compassion I need. Those phrases are adapted from Kristin Neff's self-compassion exercises. It might feel awkward at first, but research shows self-compassion helps reduce heartbreak-related distress and attachment to the ex by boosting your self-worth and calm. It's like giving yourself the love you were yearning from the other. Visualize life as a movie, decentering tool. When a painful memory of your ex arises, say you remembered beautiful vacation together, try this decentering trick. Imagine you're watching that scene as a movie, or you're reading about it as a chapter in a novel. Acknowledge it was a meaningful scene, but then imagine closing the book or the scene fading out. Alternatively, picture the memory in your mind's eye and then shrink it down to a smaller, dimmer image, maybe even in black and white. These mental exercises create psychological distance. You're training your brain to see the memory as something that happened, not something that is happening now. It's a subtle but powerful shift. People often find that the same memory that made them sob uncontrollably at first becomes tolerable after repeatedly using such visualization. It's your brain learning this is in the past. Dating yourself and new experiences. A fun micro practice is to take yourself on a date once a week. Do something you couldn't or didn't do with your ex. Something that's just for you. Maybe it's a type of food they hated that you love, or a hobby you didn't have time for. This serves two purposes. One, it helps break the association that only with them did I have fun by proving you can create joy solo or with other friends. Two, it rebuilds identity, stage 6, by exploring who you are as an individual. It could be as simple as going to a movie alone with your favorite candy. At first, it might feel lonely, but treat it as an experiment in self-discovery. Over time, you'll likely start enjoying your own company more, which is a strong sign of letting go. As you form new memories that don't include your ex, the old ones lose a bit more power. Example vignette. Let's say we have Alex, who just went through a tough breakup. Initially, Alex couldn't stop checking his ex's Instagram, and each time felt a stab of pain, triggering that reward pathway craving. After learning about these techniques, Alex decides on a 30-day no-contact commitment. He deletes his ex's number and mutes her on social media. The first week is hard. He writes in his journal, Day 3, almost caved, felt so lonely, but called a friend instead. Each day, he also does the self-compassion break when waves of self-blame hit, saying, "It's okay to feel this, may I heal." By week 3, he notices he went a full day without thinking of her. He goes to an art class, something he put off while dating, and feels a spark of happiness painting. By the end of the month, he's not fully over it yet, but he's miles better. Sleeping through the night, less obsessive thoughts. Importantly, Alex feels proud for sticking to his plan and sees that he can survive and even enjoy things without his ex. He decides to extend no contact longer, and eventually, when he does see a photo of her months later, he feels a twinge, but it no longer ruins his day. That's progress.
2. Grudges and resentment. Grudges often come from interpersonal wounds, betrayal, injustice, hurt ego. They can simmer for years. While a broken heart aches, a burning grudge seethes. It's that anger turned inward and on repeat. Chronic resentment has been likened to drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It ends up hurting you more. Studies have linked unforgiveness to higher stress, elevated blood pressure, and even cardiovascular issues. So letting go of grudges is hugely beneficial for your health and happiness. Special considerations. With grudges, the challenge is often justified anger. You might feel, I have a right to be angry. They really wronged me. And you may be absolutely right. Forgiveness or letting go doesn't mean saying the wrong was okay. It means you're choosing not to let it control you anymore. Another feature of grudges is rumination on revenge or righteousness. The mind loves to replay the scenario where you tell them off or others see how wrong they were. That gives a temporary satisfaction, but keeps the wound fresh. There's also identity at play, feeling like the victim or the morally superior one in the narrative. And sometimes grudges are tied to deep hurt or fear of being hurt again. Anger can be a protective mask over hurt. Micro practices for grudges. The empathy exercise, perspective taking. This can be hard when you're mad, but it's shown to help in forgiveness interventions. Set aside 10 minutes when calm. Write a short narrative from the other person's perspective. Try to step into their shoes and explain why they acted like they did without absolving them. For instance, John lied to me about that promotion. From his perspective, maybe he was afraid of seeming weak. He grew up in a family where status was everything. Perhaps he felt I was a threat. He was wrong, and it hurt me, but I can see he was acting out of insecurity. Research by Worthington suggests empathy is a key step in forgiving. You begin to see the offender as a flawed human rather than a one-dimensional villain. Sometimes this even evokes pity or sadness for them. Again, not to say it was okay, but to soften the resentment. Another micro-practice is anger imagery release. Similar to how exposure works for fear, you can do an exposure for anger. Close your eyes and vividly imagine confronting the person and expressing everything you feel. Really let it out in your mind or by speaking in an empty room or into a pillow. Some people actually put an empty chair and speak to it as if the person were there, a Gestalt therapy technique. Say the unfiltered truth. You used me, you coward, you hurt me so badly, etc. Let yourself feel the anger fully. Your heart might race, that's okay. Then imagine them leaving or being removed, and you standing there, breathing, still alive and okay. Take some deep breaths and then imagine sending them off. Maybe picture them walking away into the distance while you stay where you are. This can serve as a safe release of anger so it doesn't stay bottled, and also an imagery of you separating from the role of their victim.
Some people like to finish by saying, "I release this hold you have on me." You might have to do this multiple times. It's essentially what some therapies call an empty chair technique for closure. It allowed your brain to process the anger and start moving towards letting it go because you've expressed it. Another micro practice is forgiveness letter, not necessarily sent. Write a letter to the person who hurt you, in which you forgive them. Important, you don't have to actually send this letter. Often it's better you don't, especially if the person is not in your life or is untrustworthy. This letter is for you. In it, articulate what you're forgiving and why. For example, I am choosing to forgive you for X. This doesn't mean X was okay. It wasn't. But I refuse to carry this bitterness any longer. I forgive you because I want peace. I acknowledge you are human and have your own weaknesses that led to that behavior. I release the desire to punish you. Life will teach you what it will. I need to move on. Use whatever words feel right. This is an act of intentional forgiveness. Psychologically, writing it concretizes your decision to let go of vengeance. Studies have shown that writing about forgiveness can reduce depressive and anxious symptoms in people holding grudges. If you feel comfortable, you might later decide to share a version of this with the person, if they're safe and it's appropriate. But that's not necessary for your healing. This is about your freedom, not their response. Another micro practice is gratitude override. Here's a surprising but potent one. Whenever thoughts about the grudge object arise, after acknowledging them, intentionally switch to thinking about something or someone you're grateful for. For instance, you're washing dishes and you think of how your former friend betrayed you. You feel anger rising. Catch it and say, "Okay, I see that anger. Noted." Then deliberately redirect, "I'm grateful for my sibling who's always been honest with me," or "I'm thankful I learned to be more discerning now, and I'm thankful for my new friend who shares my values." It might feel forced at first, but gratitude has a documented effect of increasing emotional well-being and can't coexist easily with bitterness. It's like pouring water on the fire. Over time, this practice can help recondition your brain, trigger memory, feel a twinge, automatically think of something positive. End of rumination. It breaks the rumination loop that keeps grudges alive. Plus, it shifts your focus to the people or aspects of life that deserve your mental energy more than the jerk who hurt you. Let me give you an example. Meet Brenda, who has been seething for a year after a colleague, Sarah, took credit for her work, costing Brenda a promotion. Brenda replays the scenario every day, imagining telling Sarah off in front of everyone. She notices she's become irritable and distrustful at work broadly. Deciding this grudge is consuming her, Brenda tries the empathy exercise. She writes from Sarah's view. "I was insecure about my position and I feared Brenda outshining me, so I took credit to save myself. I see now it was wrong, but I'm too proud to admit it," etc. Brenda surprisingly starts seeing Sarah as a pathetic figure rather than an all-powerful nemesis. Next, Brenda does an anger release visualization at home where she yells, when alone, everything she'd want to say to Sarah and imagines Sarah leaving the room ashamed. She feels a weight off after that catharsis. She even tears up, realizing under the anger, she felt unappreciated and hurt. Then she writes a forgiveness letter. "Sarah, I'm furious at what you did. It was unfair and unprofessional, but I'm choosing to forgive you. I refuse to carry this bitterness any longer. I forgive you because I want peace. I acknowledge you are human and have your own weaknesses that led to that behavior. I release the desire to punish you. Life will teach you what it will. I need to move on." She doesn't send it because confronting Sarah may not yield any apology and could make things worse, but she keeps the letter. Whenever Sarah crosses her mind or she sees her in meetings, Brenda reminds herself, "I let that go." She also starts focusing on gratitude. Each day, she notes at least one good thing, like a colleague who did acknowledge her contributions. Over a few weeks, Brenda finds she's not ruminating as much. She can interact civilly with Sarah without her blood boiling. And interestingly, her renewed positive attitude at work helps her shine again. And a few months later, her manager, noticing her improvements, gives her a special project. In letting go, Brenda not only feels lighter, but it indirectly helps her career get back on track, whereas holding the grudge only drained her.